Right, everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwaseun, and we just, wrapped up a series on Docker where we looked at, the importance of container, how to build an image from a Docker file, how to run an image as a container, and all of that. Now, in this next, episode or series, we want to focus on CI/CD. Now, already on my YouTube channel, I already have a playlist on, GitLab CICD, a complete playlist on that. But Jenkins is also one of the, very popular CI/CD platform out there, and I thought it's essential that we talk about it, and of course, we do something with it practically. Okay, now Jenkins, like we all know, or well, maybe some of us may not be aware, but for some of us who are already familiar, it's actually an open source continuous integration and continuous deployment platform. Now, what I would try to explain to us today, before we get into the hands-on and all of that, is to basically help us understand what is CI/CD. So when we say CI/CD, what do we mean? Now, there are different platforms, right, that we can use to do CI/CD, like the GitLab CI/CD that I just mentioned, that I have a playlist on that on my channel already. There's the GitHub Actions, all right. There's there's Team CD, there's Circle CI. I mean, a whole lot, all right, of these things, okay? Now, let's focus on CI/CD. So continuous integration and continuous deployment. So what does it really mean when we say, oh, I want to do CI and I want to do CD? Now, if you have followed this series, if you follow this channel for a while, you would realize that quite a number of the things that we've been doing, we've actually been doing them, sort of semi, let's say manually, right? Because basically we push into the GitHub repository, and then we go to the EC2 instance, for example, to maybe clone what we have pushed to the GitHub repository, and then we run the manual process, by ourselves. And some of the things that we've also done is that we've used shell scripts to basically automate certain things. For example, when we want to bootstrap, our WordPress server, our EFS installation, we actually just set script for that. Okay, but the beauty of CI/CD is that you can have all of these processes integrated. Okay, and with what you call a pipeline, which means you can define these processes as a form of template, and then you have a platform that you can submit that template to, and it basically executes everything that you have defined inside of that template one step at a time. All right. So now, what is CI and what is CD? Now, CI, from the word continuous integration, basically tells you that you can have a platform that you can integrate certain things into. For example, your GitHub repository can be integrated with Jenkins. That is continuous integration. So continuous integration in that sense will mean that when your developer pushes anything, or when they push anything into the GitHub repository, right, there can be a kind of connection between your CI platform, which is Jenkins, and your GitHub. Basically, there can be a signal that will be sent from your repository to the Jenkins pipeline that you have created, that anytime anybody pushes into that repository, the pipeline is basically triggered. Okay, that is continuous integration, which means that I don't have to wait for somebody to tell me that they have pushed something into the repo, and then I go to maybe my CI platform or any other platform, and then I go and run whatever it is that they have pushed manually. No. So with my CI, right, I can integrate my code base with my CI pipeline. So anytime my developer pushes anything into the code base, the pipeline is triggered, and then that code is automatically built and tested. And that means whatever it is that you've defined in the CI template is basically carried out. That is continuous integration, because when you integrate continuously, you're basically doing a lot of things. For example, you integrate your code base with Jenkins. You can do security scanning. You can do, image building. Maybe you want to build a Docker image from a file. All right, you can do several things. And that is basically what continuous integration means. So which means as you're pushing into the code base, right, I mean, it is continuously integrated with your Jenkins platform, and then Jenkins is building something, testing something automatically, even when you are not present. That is continuous integration. Now, the other side, which is continuous deployment. Now, when you have this CI setup, you also want to deploy whatever it is, has been, integrated. You want to deploy that into an environment. So in a work environment, usually you have the development environment, you have the test environment, and then you have the production environment. And sometimes in some environment also, they have what they call the pre-prod, all right, environment, which some people call the staging environment. Okay. Now you don't push directly to your production, all right, environment. You don't do that. You start with the development, you test things out, all right, you fix bugs, okay, you scan your Docker images if you're containerizing your application and all of that. And then when things are certified, deployment to production is actually most times triggered manually, which means somebody has to look at what has been built, what code has been integrated, and then they have to now do a manual approval, all right, for that application to be deployed into production. But continuous deployment is basically that after you've integrated your code base with your CI pipeline, now the CI pipeline has checked everything. The code has been scanned. It has met, your requirements in terms of maybe, software, static security analysis scanning, dynamic, and all of, basically stats test, SCA, composition analysis, and all that. Now, all of those things have been met. Then you can build an image, all right, from that code base. And then when you build an image from the code base, you can also subject that image to some form of security scanning, all right, using Snake, Trivy, even Amazon Inspector, all right, can help you to do your image scanning, deep image scanning. Now, once all of these processes have been completed, you can then deploy that application into your development environment. So that is continuous deployment. So you're integrating continuously, and then you are building and you are deploying continuously, which means you really don't have to be present for all of these processes to be done. And that is the beauty of CI/CD. All right. So which means I don't have to be on the system. My developer does not have to call me that they have pushed something into the GitHub repository. No, because the pipeline has been set up such that anytime they push anything into the development, all right, branch, then the pipeline is automatically triggered. What they have built is, all right, built automatically by the CI pipeline. All the scanning that should be done, all right, is done automatically. And if there are issues, you can also integrate notification like Slack into your pipeline, such that if there are challenges or any issues, you get notified as well. So you really don't have to be on the system, 24/7 or every time to basically watch how things are happening. So you can integrate different platforms with, all right, your pipeline. And that is the beauty of CI/CD. So in this next series, we want to look at Jenkins and how we can actually use Jenkins to, all the things that we have done manually up to this point, building a Docker image, running a container, deploying to EC2, all those kind of things. We want to bring all of that knowledge, okay, and then use Jenkins to basically build out a pipeline that can take care of all of that processes for us automatically. All right. So that is what we're going to look at in this series. And I'm so excited about it. And of course, I'll see you on the next video. And then we'll begin with Jenkins installation and we'll take things off from there. So thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.